that. Yeah, there we go. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so what I was saying is it's me, and zetamath is going to be here in about 15 minutes. So echo, echo. Oh, so yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to Americans, uh, and happy happy Thursday to everybody else. Uh, or Friday if you're in the in Asia Pacific. Okay. Uh, a couple of announcements. We will have normal stream tomorrow, and on Sunday we will have normal stream. It will be me and Zeta and a guest on Sunday. At least that is currently the plan. Uh, Also, we are announcing a deadline for the Sortadoku setting challenge. Um, it is going to be December 8th, so please have your submissions in by December 8th, which is a Friday. All right. With that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and get started with this puzzle by Nell Gwynn. These lines are Chinese Whispers lines. We are going to make Santa Zach an emote for the channel. I just haven't done it yet. Isabella made a wonderful Santa Zach, and it's going to be an emote on both Discord and here for people with green names. I know the pinned link is wrong. Let's see. This copy text. I think. I'm not used to doing this on zetamath's. No, that's not right. You know what? I'm gonna do it on my laptop over here. There we go. There we go. All right, so these lines are Chinese Whispers, where along the line digits can differ by at most 2. There is an anti-king constraint where I see Sven even knows about the anti-king constraint, where these digits can't be the same digit, these can't be the same digit. I'm gonna mess up terribly with the controls here because this is Zeta's computer and it lacks all my special setup, my specially mapped keys. And the other is that these digits are odd and these digits are even. So we can go ahead and just say these are from 135. Oh, man. How do you even? I don't know how to select multiple cells on Zeta's setup. So, is it worth switching to my own computer? No, because that would probably take me at least 10 minutes to set up. Can double click the square. That's a good idea, Isabella. Let's see. And Niverio, zetamath setup is so crazy, I don't even know which button is control for him. Well, the thing is, Sarah, zetamath's going to be back in about 10 or 15 minutes, so... yeah, zetamath has his buttons remapped in crazy ways. And to be fair, I do too. They're just completely different crazy ways. So these are from 246. All right. Yeah, spend the next 10 minutes resetting all his mappings to what I want them to be. Okay, so Garion points out that this digit needs to go in row 2. It can't go in any of these cells, this by Sudoku and these by Antinite, and it's not these because these are odd and this is even. So in fact, these are the same cell, and this one is from 246. Isabella wants us to place this 135 in box 3. Let's see. The other box 3. Or 2, column 2 in box 3. Yeah, has to go here. And green. Now green could go here. Niverio points out that, hi Nelgwyn, blue in box 4 goes here. Whoops. And I swear, I am never going to use zetamath's computer again for doing this. That's blue. And green can't go in any of these cells, so green goes here. Okay. So, okay, green isn't 4, claims Niverio. If green is 4, right, 6 on a red line needs to be now. Why couldn't we go 6 here with because we can't put 2 5s. Yeah, okay. So 6 can only connect to 4s and 5s. If green is 4, that rules 6 out from connecting to 4s anywhere. But what we could otherwise do is put a 6 here, or I suppose here, and have 5 5s, except that's ruled out by anti-knight. So I agree now that green is not 4. Okay, and now Garion says green can't be 2. If green is 2, then okay, green is in one of these and not here. So green is not in row 5. Green is in row 6. So that would I suppose it is worth saying that a digit, because of the anti-king constraint, a digit on the Chinese whispers cannot have 2 of the same digit next to it in any place. So then a 1 always needs a 2 and a 3. If green is 2, but I'm trying to understand why 1 couldn't go down here. But let's look back up here. Yeah, if green is 2, then either blue is 1 and it breaks over here, or this is 1 and you don't have anywhere to put a 2. That's a little complicated, but I buy it. So that means green is 6. And this needs a 5 and a 4 next to it. So that's not a 5. Blue is not 5. Yeah, I think there were 2 cases that you had to consider which one of these was 1, but it breaks either way. If blue is 3, then somehow we have to put a 1 on the line, but we don't have anywhere to put a 3 next to it. So yes, blue is 1. I agree. There's no good way to select these. That's not 1. So these now are 2 and 3. Let's see. I have a zeta standing over my shoulder now.
You do this to me a lot, so now I get to join in the fun.
Oh, that's fine. I don't mind it. Yeah, where does 6 go in box 3? Not in any of these cells. So one of these is 6. Yeah, Ambrose, Zeta couldn't join right at the beginning of stream, so I covered for Zeta. And then when we finish this, Zeta is going to do the most voted on puzzle. I'm trying to, so one of these is 6. So 6 can't go in anywhere. So 6 in row 5 does go. I hate your control scheme. It is really terrible. And 6s are green. I'm so slow at entering digits with your
things.
Your setup.
Well, good thing it's a Fillomino, or sorry, good thing it's a 6x6.
Yeah.
I then read the word Fillomino on the screen, so I said it rather than the word I was supposed to say, as is the usual tradition.
Yeah. So where does 5 go in? So 5 on
row 2 definitely goes on the Chinese Whisperer.
Yes.
That seems like it's relevant.
That's true. It could comfortably go here.
Oh, and it can't go there because of anti-king. It can't go in row 2, column 4 because of anti-king. So 4 is just placed.
It can't go here because of
anti-king. It can't go in row 2, column 4 because of anti-king.
Here.
Because there's a 4-5 pair in column 3.
Ah, so this one sees a 4. So this definitely is a 4. Good.
I have digited us.
And so this one can't be a 6, so it's a 5, 3, or 2. I mean, just is that by... It's not a 5, though. It sees a 5. So this is the other 2, 3. That's highly relevant. So that means this is the 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives us our 4 and 5 here. And we have 2.
5 can only go next to 3 in row 1, column 1.
Yes, these are 3 and 2.
2 is placed in box 3.
2 in box 3.
So it can't go next to 5 on a Chinese Whisper.
Yes. So that's 2.
And that has Sven over to box that one. You have not Sven to the 2.
I thought it's your darn controls, Zeta.
3 is placed in row 3.
Yep. Let's see what's left here. 4 and 2.
And 2 is placed. Which is going to resolve all of these boxes 3 and 4 completely.
This can't be 4, so that's 2. That's 4.
And just by Sudoku, you can do the rest of the rows. You've probably marked.
Yeah, I think the puzzle's done from here. That was really fun.
I really liked the 4-5 pair bit that took me forever.
Come on.
Yeah, that lag kills me. I don't like that.
This lag doesn't exist on my computer, so it's...
I think it's something weird with the keypad or something, because I didn't have it.
The keypad doesn't have lag on my computer. It's not the keypad, it's Windows or your computer.
It didn't used to, which is why I think it's something like it's going bad or needs to be recalibrated or something. I don't know.
Or your computer is just like dying in lots of different ways.
That is also possible.
Someone needs to make more 6x6s. It's been 8 days since someone's posted a 6x6, and like the thread has sort of fallen off the main thing. Maybe I should make a 6x6.
There you go.
Let's see, and to find the puzzle you're doing so you can read the voters. All right, I'm going to turn this over to Zeta, and Zeta knows how to use his own setup.
Can I get some mother pot tea when you get a chance?
I know.
Okay, excellent.
I just
Thank you.
had to do this instead of that. I will see you chat on Sunday.
Oh, you're joining us on Sunday?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Do we have a special guest on Sunday?
We do have a
Is it
special
public who
guest
it is?
on Sunday. I haven't announced who it is, because I want to like check with them one more time.
Okay.
So see ya, everybody. And next up is this puzzle by Agent. All right, bye bye.
Bye bye, Tris. Thank you for covering for me. I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Hello, everyone. I'd say sorry about that, but you got to hang out with Tris, which is, in my opinion, one of the best things ever. So I guess I don't have anything to apologize for. Guaranteed no deet deet doot. That's true. That's probably the impetus for setting the puzzle. So this is a permaculture. Oh Lord. Okay. So let us figure out how this works. So we need to divide the grid into two areas of orthogonally. So a permaculture, by the way, I should say, is basically when you have two puzzles mushed together in the same grid and you have to sort of find the border between them. So in this case, it's a Fillomino and a Meidjuluk, which is a nonsense word that's designed to sound like Meidjuluk, I am told. So one of the areas is a Fillomino and the other is a Meidjuluk. Fillomino are interesting because Fillomino, I'm just seeing right away these twos can't all be part of Fillominos, but whatever, I will try and spare that, or those ones. In a Fillomino, you need to break the grid into ominoes that all have their all the same size. Yeah, maybe that's my error, is that I don't think any of my genres I've invented have had nonsense words. I probably need more nonsense words. So in a Fillomino, you need to break the grid into ominoes of various sizes, and every cell contains the size. So in particular, this has nothing to do with Sudoku or anything like that. Thank you, Scott. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and happy Thanksgiving to all of those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving on this particular day. Yeah, Nabner is just Renbon backwards. That's as much sense as any word. I mean, I feel like etymologically that is way more sound than anything after all. And so if this were a 5, then this would be like this, would be like that. And your size, or ominoes of the same size can't touch. So I can have a 4 here and a 5 here, that's fine, because 4 and 5 are not the same, but I could not have a, say, 4 over here like that, because that would be 4 counting 4. So that won't work. Okay, so that is the Fillomino. And so part of this grid, to be determined by us entirely, is a Fillomino. And part of it is a Meidjuluk, which we need to divide into 9 regions, one of each size, 1 to 9. So spoiler, by actually, of all things, the secret, that means the Meidjuluk takes up 45 cells. So 45 of the 100 cells are part of the Meidjuluk, at the very least. So we've got that. A Meidjuluk region may not contain repeated numbers, and it may only contain factors of its size, e.g. a region of size 6 may contain any combination of 1, 2, 3, and 6, including none of them. So you don't add any digits in a Meidjuluk. So that is worth noting. And so we just need to, so not every cell in a Meidjuluk has a digit. And so there we go. So we've got that. And then I already described the Fillomino. Okay, so there will be cells without digits, lots of them presumably. So I'm going to just mark off in several spots where I know these aren't both Fillomino. And these aren't both Fillomino. So red line means I know one of the two cells is not Fillomino. So one of the two at least is Meidjuluk. I don't think there's any rule that these couldn't both be Meidjuluk, for example. Let's see. Okay, and so are there any things where I know they can't both be... By the way, that's because if this was a 2 Fillomino, it would have to grow there, which would then mean this couldn't be a 2 Fillomino, and you just can't have two ones next to each other in a Fillomino grid. It is true, I can unequivocally draw a border between the two ones, although I'm going to have a different color for borders between borders between Aminos and regions and borders between the permaculture, but I don't know if this is a permaculture border or a Meidjuluk border yet. I mean, I guess if I'm... Oh, I don't know that there's a border there necessarily because of the whole thing. I know there's a border... Actually, no, maybe this could be a Fillomino with an 8 or something. Now... So it's okay. So it's not true that the region of size n necessarily contains n. It's only true that the region of size n can only contain digits dividing n. And so the region of size 9 in particular could contain no digits at all if it felt like it in the Meidjuluk. So I'm sort of thinking I'm going to have to do something that I'm kind of dreading, which is I think I probably have to try and minimize the number of cells because the Meidjuluk only has 45 cells, and it needs to contain one of each of all of these. And I'm a little worried this is going to be a break-in where I have to realize, oh, the minimum number of cells in which I could possibly do that is blah, and therefore it has to be exactly these cells or something like that. Because, I mean, these are some quite dispersed cells throughout the grid that I have to put in. Oh, it's interesting to note, actually... This is a good point. How many 2s can I possibly put in the Meidjuluk? And the answer is 4. I can only put 4 2s in the Meidjuluk because there's only 4 cells in the Meidjuluk, or only 4 regions in the Meidjuluk that are divisible by 2. So in fact, not only are these 2s at least one Meidjuluk, they're also at least one Fillomino. So these are actually a Meidjuluk Fillomino pair. So I'm going to redo this one. So the 2s belong to each even number. Now, if there were any more 2s in the grid, I would know for sure they were Fillomino. But sadly, I am not so fortunate as to have that. Now, my question is, could this 6 possibly get to a 2 in a region of size 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this 6 is too far away from every 2 to be part of a Meidjuluk. So I think this is definitely a Fillomino. I have no idea how I'm going to notate this, but this is definitely a Fillomino because every even-sized region in the Meidjuluk has a 2 because I need to cram 4 2s in there. So this is definitely a Fillomino 6. We'll make Fillomino 6s red, I guess. And I bet the same thing is true of this. This is also a Fillomino 6. Yeah, there's no way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So same deal there. This 6 can just grab that 2, right? Or is the reasoning something more sophisticated? This has to be Fillomino, though. This 4 certainly has to be Fillomino, as Josh points out, because it also can't get to a 2. So we'll make it blue. My current plan is to use shades of gray for those things. Nikolai points out correctly, there's definitely a region border here. I don't know if it's a Meidjuluk border or not, but I know there's a region border between those. Oh, this 4 could be in an 8 Meidjuluk. That's true. You're correct. That is true. I mean, this 6, when it grows, is certainly going to bump up against this 6, but I don't know that that means that this 6, like, I'm looking at options like this for the 6. An 8-Juluk, if you will. Yes, I will, in fact, 8-Juluk. I like it. If this 2 is the Fillomino, I think we have... No, if this 2 is the Fillomino, then we have to just cram a 1 omino and a 2 omino in here, and these become a 1-2 pair. But I think we just barely escape with our lives. But that looks restricted to me, the what happens if this is... Oh! Okay, so if this 2 is a Fillomino, all of this is forced, and if this 2 is a Meidjuluk, it can only be a Meidjuluk... Oh, it could be in a Meidjuluk of size 6. Darn. Oh, right. The 3 omino could back its tush up into here, or the 9 omino could. Right. Ambrose is correct. Good job catching me on disasters. If this cell is Fillomino, it's a 3, 6, 9, or 5. Let's see. But it is interesting, and yeah, if this is part of a Meidjuluk, if this 2 is a Meidjuluk, well, 1 was what I originally claimed it had to be, Carl, but then I was wrong. But this 2, if it's part of a Meidjuluk, it has to be part of a 6 Meidjuluk, or just a 2 Meidjuluk. Those are the 2 options. Selena is counting that there are 4 9s in the puzzle. That seems ominous, because at most 1 9 goes in a Meidjuluk clue. And are any of these 9s within 9 cells of each other? There's no way, right? Oh, well... all Meidjuluk regions have to be contiguous, Jaleb. That's part of the permaculture rules. So it is in the first sentence. Divide the grid into 2 areas of orthogonally connected cells. So that is where it says that. Let's see. So actually, the 4 9s is interesting, because 3 of them have to be Fillomino. They can't join. That's 27 of the 55 cells right there. So if we're trying to do an accounting of the 55 Fillomino cells, 27 of them are 9s, 8 of them are 2s, so that's 35. That only leaves us... Oh, and at least 6 of them are 6s, but these 2 6s could join like that, right? No, they can't. These 2 6s can't join. That's 7. Not 6. So actually, okay, so we've got at least 3 9s is 27, plus 4 2s is 35, plus 2 6s is 47, out of 55, although now Carl is pointing out that there wasn't as much symmetry as I thought there was. And these 9s could maybe join 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They could potentially join. So that actually reduces our count down considerably, because now it is 2 9s, 2 6s is 30, and 4 2s is 38. So that still leaves 17 worth to play around with. Oh, but the 8s. These 2 8s can't both be thing. They can't both be Meidjuluks. And so we said we have 17. Well, that's 8 more of it. that is down to 9 cells left over. I think I should probably try and find a sheet of paper to write this down, because I am not going to keep track of this well. We have, so we know that in the Fillomino, there are 55 cells total. And we know there's at least 2 9s. That's 27 cells. We know there's at least 1 8. That's 8 cells. We know there are at least 4 2s. That is 8 cells. We know that there's 2 6s. That's 12 cells. Do we know anything more than that? So that seems to be, let's see, 20. That seems to be 45, if I count that correctly. Those are 28, 48, 55. That's, wait. No, I did not do that right. 20, 28. Wait, no, that is 55 cells. 27 plus 16 plus 12 is 55. Am I crazy? I think that's right. Oh, it's because 2 times 9 isn't 27. That's the problem. 2 times 9 is 18. So that explains it. So that is 28 plus 18 is 38, 46. If I did that right. I'm adding a bunch of even numbers, so it should presumably be even, whereas I was getting an odd number before. It looks like 46 to me. So that means we have exactly 9 cells to play with, which is annoying, because if we have exactly 9 cells to play with, that means we could keep these 2 9s separate, and then we would be exactly done. Otherwise, the 2 9s have to merge into a Fillomino region, which is probably what we're trying to prove. And I think the point is one of these ones has to be a Fillomino. Because if neither of these ones is a Fillomino, then one of these 6s, then the 6s in joining, not as a Fillomino cell, but as the Fillomino region itself, encloses that one and makes the other one. So this is funnily enough the no checkerboard deduction that shows up in a lot of genres, but no checkerboard for permaculture puzzles. And so that means that, in fact, we have at least 1 1, which brings us to 47, which now means that these 2 9s both have to be Fillomino and have to join each other. Because I don't have room for a third 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And unfortunately, they have a little bit of wiggle room in how exactly they go about joining. And then one of these 9s is real, and then the other 9 is not. So currently with all of those, I have used at least one of these is Fillomino. But it could be, in this case, they're both Fillomino. Oh, yeah, maybe the direct path is blocked by this 4, so maybe all of these have to be 9s? Because even though we have a degree of freedom, 1 degree of freedom isn't enough to change this path. You'd need 2 extra cells in order to not use all of these. So I think we actually are guaranteed that, and we get a bunch of 9s on this happy Thanksgiving Day to do our 9 dance. Ba-doop-ba-doop, woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop, wah! Ba-doop-ba-doop, wah! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So we've got that. We've got a bunch of borders we know about, like those. And we have we have 8 cells left to play with. So we have to keep that in mind. So in particular, one of these twos is a Meidjuluk. And so that Meidjuluk has to get out because it has to connect to all the other twos. And so that 2 getting out is going to force all of these to be Meidjuluk. Meidjuluk are going to get colors of gray to distinguish them from Fillomino cells. Do I know which of these it is? I know one of these is Fillomino. So I know there's a 2 in one of these 2 cells that's a Fillomino 2, for what it's worth. Well, I know it's not these 2. Good point from Garion. This is the easier point. This 4 can't possibly be a Fillomino, because if this 4 was part of a Fillomino, it would need to be size 4, and there's no longer room, thanks to the ever-encroaching gray menace. If this 3 was Fillomino, it would break the 2s, because, remember, one of these 2 has to be Meidjuluk, and so if this is a Fillomino, it would isolate those. So that is Meidjuluk. Now the 4 needs to grab a 2, and the only 2 it can grab is down here. So the 4 actually grabs that 2 for sure. And these are actually all in the same region for sure. So we now have that, and now this can be Fillomino, and because it's a Fillomino, well, sorry, let me go back over here and say the 3 is not in the 4 Meidjuluk region. So the 3 always takes this cell because the 3 needs to be in a Meidjuluk of size 3. So these are a 1-2 pair, but if this was Meidjuluk, I'd have isolated the Fillomino, which is a hilarious sentence to say. So this is blue and a 2. Oops. Oops. No, not that. There needs to be a little Ambrose button that fills in the border. Okay, so this is the last cell of the 3. And then that is, I convinced myself it couldn't because this 4 Omino needs to have size 4, Garion. I was worried about that, but there was no other place for this 4 to grab. That would have worked. That was why. I can make this dark gray just to make ourselves look distinguished. These words lead to weird sentences and weird deductions, but I think I proved everything I was supposed to. If the 4 had been an 8, wouldn't this 3 be broken? Oh, right, the 3 Meidjuluk could be bigger. Right. Okay, so this did not deserve the color that it got. That I agree. But I can't put the 4 and the 3 together, even in an 8. So I think the 4 needed to take these, and it didn't have anywhere else to go. I don't think it could have been an 8, because the 2 needed to get grabbed by something. But yes, you're right. The 3 could go in a 6, for example. Now, we're going to prove it can't go in a 6 at some point, probably, maybe, possibly. Because if the 3 was bigger, we'd only have 2 cells left in the entire grid. Oh, and the 6 needs a 2, right? Sorry, the 6 needs a 2, right? Okay, so yeah, so the 6 needs a 2, so the 3 can't go there. If the 4 went straight down the bottom, Franco, my Fillomino would be up here, and my Fillomino cells would not be connected, which is the sort of, there's a cave rule, basically, that all of the Fillominos are connected and all of the Meidjuluks are connected. which is sort of hidden in the first sentence. So this is a something. Okay. So there's still a 9 to be found somewhere. And we've got to sort of beware of connectivity stuff if we're not sufficiently careful. One of these is Meidjuluk for sure. We've got the 4 and the 3 in the Meidjuluk. In fact, I'm going to put a black circle around the Meidjuluk digits that we've used. Let's see. This 5 could just barely fill in a Fillomino. I was trying to decide if there's some other thing. If both of these 8s were Fillomino, that would be a big problem, wouldn't it? Right. We have this border contiguity business. So just like in a cave puzzle or a yin yang puzzle or sorry, not like a cave puzzle. Sorry, don't listen to me with the cave business. Just like in a yin yang puzzle, because there's only one contiguous group of each, the border only gets one contiguous group of Meidjuluk and one contiguous group of Fillomino. And so, because one of these 9s is definitely Fillomino, J. Dyer's point is all of this stuff is Fillomino. I'm just going to use a bright color to indicate that, like orange, and then I will gray this because that means that is not Fillomino per our earlier agreement. So we've got all of that at the very least being Philomeno. Oh, and in particular, that means this 9 is Meidjuluk. Because if this 9 wasn't Meidjuluk, we'd have we have 8 cells left. So if this 9 was Philomeno, we would have -1 cells left. This is why I have the sheet of paper. So all of this is Meidjuluk stuff. Over here. It is true, the 5 is always part of a thing of size 5, regardless of whether it is Meidjuluk or Philomeno. Eckbert is correct about that. So if I go with some color like yellow, the 5 could join a 1. So this 1 could be part of the 5, but the 5 certainly can't grab anything else. So at minimum, the 5 grabs these cells. So this is Philomeno now. This is Philomeno, and we've apparently decided that 2s are blue, although I don't remember consciously making that decision, but I seem to have made that decision at some point in my life. Okay. So this 8 needs a 2. There's no universe where the 8 gets that one of these 2 2s and doesn't break the 9, right? There's no way. Because if the 8... So the 8 definitely takes that 2. Because if the 8 grabs one of these 2s, there's a big problem. So these 2 are together, but they could be together in some way like that or something. That's a good point from J. Dyer, is that this 9, if it doesn't take that cell, has serious issues. So it definitely is part of all of this is part of it. Let's see. Intriguing. Oh, sorry. Why did I think that? Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I did that wrong. Oops. because it could go that way, but it could go this way as well. I needed to count that as part of my proving it needed to take that cell, but I don't actually know whether it escapes that way or both. Good catch to chat. Let's see. Trying to decide if any of these others I know anything interesting about. And presumably I know something else interesting. I know that the 9 doesn't take that cell at the very least. Oh, this 3 is Fillomino. Because this unless the 3 is part of the 9. Because the only oh, it could be part of a 6. Dagnammit. Never mind. Sorry, it could be part of a 6. Oh, right. This 8 is definitely Fillomino, because we proved that these can't both be Meidjuluks unless there's a 16. Yeah, the 8 gets that too, I'm almost positive. But I don't think that tells me anything, Jay. But we said that 8 takes that too. We're almost sure, because the 8 couldn't take over here without breaking the 9, I'm pretty sure. But that doesn't mean the 8 goes straight across, because the 8 could trap in a region of size 1 or whatever, I believe. You could probably give a uniqueness argument that something like that doesn't happen. Oh, this 6 Fillomino now, because of the 5, the 6 Fillomino has to get out. So this is part of my 6 Fillomino. For whatever that is worth. This... Oh, the 8 is allowed to go down there, right? I have to be careful that I remember what my colors mean. Oh, is Jaleb... So I think Jaleb is correct. This 6, because of the point about this 2, which I was saying I don't think it tells me what the 8 region does exactly, but it does tell me that this 6 no longer has a 2 it can grab, because it can't grab that 2, because that 2's gotten by the 8, and it's 7 cells away. So this has to be Fillomino, and so it has to be the same Fillomino region. I realized after I said it that the 8 actually wasn't relevant. The relevant thing was the that it's 7 cells away. Now that 2 we know to be Fillomino. But the 8 proof uses the 8 deduction that Jay and I wanted to do something that has not yet done something, but that presumably has to at some point. Okay, so now these two 6-ominos can't join. Oh, sorry, these two 6-ominos have never been able to join, right? Was that true? I don't remember. I've somehow always known there were two 6-ominos. Oh, right, they've never been able to join because that would take 7, right? This could very well be Meidjuluk, though. It seems quite likely to me. I know that this cell is actually orange because it's actually part of the 9. One of these two I know is Meidjuluk. This 3 I know is part of a region of size at least 3. Unfortunately, I don't think that quite forces anything. But it gets close. The 4 could well be part of the 8 Meidjuluk, so I can't really do anything with that. Let's see. If this 3 is Meidjuluk, it's big. Actually. If this 3 is Meidjuluk, it's at least of size 6. Oh, it couldn't even be part of the 6. Right, okay. This 3 I don't think could be Meidjuluk anymore unless it's part of the 9. Because the 6 needs a 2, and this 3 can't possibly get a 2 to go with it, using that logic about this 2 belonging to the 8. So there's that. But I don't think that quite tells us anything either, although it's close, maybe, possibly. Let's see. I know the 6 isn't part of the 4 region. Okay, Jaleb is interrogating this cell and saying that this cell is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This cell is 9 cells away from the 8. So it can't be in the 8. And it can't be even at all. So the size of this Meidjuluk, and it can't be 1 either, because if it was 1, it would create a second 1. So this is a Meidjuluk of size 3, 5, or 7, I believe are the only options, because the Meidjuluk of size 9 is over there. Oh, we've already used 3, so this can only be of size 5 or 7 if we want. Because if it was of size 6, it would need a 2 somewhere, and it's way farther than 6 away from a 2 it can take. Because every even region needs a 2, was the break-in, is the thing we're still sort of hanging on to, Josh. So this is only of size 5 or 7, and it can't be of size 7 because there's not enough cells. So this is actually a Meidjuluk of size 5, right? That's just literally the only thing it can be. And yes, as MusicCuber says, please do like the stream if you have not yet liked the stream. It is greatly appreciated. Oops. I don't know where I drew a 5. I meant to draw a 5 there. I'm just going to put this 5 in a circle and then make solution check not work, just recreationally. That makes this a Bluetooth. That was a really cool observation. Great eye to Jaleb there. Okay, and so now I at least know I can get rid of this. And I can say I know that this goes at least over that far. This 3 now has to take this cell. It has no options because it's always in something at least of size 3. And that thing of size 3 definitely doesn't have a 4 or a 6 Fillomino in it, at least. So that all happens. Oh, this 3 just now really just can't be part of a... Oh, sorry. It can still be part of the 9 Meidjuluk. Is still probably what happens. Very possibly. Row 5, column 8, now Jay Dyer points out, is now forced to be a Fillomino because we have the 5 Meidjuluk. Beautiful. Excuse me. We will give pot 5 the color of purple. We will draw a border here. So now that's a 5 times 1, which now means we've got 3 cells left only. So if there's only 3 cells left, that means this 4 is Meidjuluk. Right? Yeah, we did not have any 4-cell Fillominos that we counted. So now this 4 is now Meidjuluk. It's probably part of the 8, but who knows? It is true what Sarah says. The 5 definitely grows down and grabs that cell. Right. If this 3 joins the 9, now this 2 omino is not connected anymore. Okay, so this 3... this 3 now has to be Fillomino. Because if the 3 is not Fillomino, then it has to go with the 9 and the Meidjuluk, and that creates a connectivity issue, both Eckbert and Jay Dyer pointed out. And so that brings us to a grand total of 0 cells left once I Fillominonize this. So we will Fillominonize it as green, I believe. Making that a 3. Okay. Yeah, this 4 is definitely joining the 8, right? Is that actually set up now? So I need to do it exactly one way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Okay. So the 8 Jaluk is now forced because remember the actual 4 Jaluk needs a 2. So this is an actual Jaluk. as we fill this in. It is all forced. And it is the 8. This 6 is now forced to escape here for sure. I agree with Lakia. Happy Thanksgiving, Karen. I hope you're doing well. Oh, one of these ones is now Meidjuluk for sure, because I don't have a choice, because I have 0 cells left to give. And so one of these at least is Meidjuluk. I think that means this is Meidjuluk, because I have 0 cells left. We have accounted for all 55. So I think this is now forced to be Meidjuluk, right? Do people agree with that assessment? There's no Fillomino wiggle room left. Why couldn't row 2, column 7 just be part of the 3 omino, though? Yeah, this could be a Meidjuluk. But either way, it means the Meidjuluk has to expand this way because it's not connecting that way. Because remember, this orange line means that this thing is Fillomino down here. So the Meidjuluk region, or sorry, the Meidjuluk part of the permaculture definitely expands this direction. Is what I am saying. Eight and 1 are different numbers. Okay, so everything on this part, because these are all Fillominos, they're all part of a Fillomino we know about. And there aren't a whole lot of places or Fillominos we know about that this could possibly be in. In particular, if the 8 doesn't go down, I think we're boned, right? Because what other Fillomino is taking into account these? I think the 8 has to go down, Jaleb, because I think the 8 has to go down, because otherwise I think I have to invent new Fillominos to fill these cells, right? Like if the 9 took that cell, I think there's just nothing I could do to make these work. There aren't any big... Oh, this 9 could do it. Oh, this 9 could do it, but funnily enough, I need to separate this 9 from this 9. And so one of these cells needs to be not 9, even if I were to do something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think the 8 still always needs to go here. Because if the 8 doesn't make it there, I again think we have problems. So I think that always happens, regardless of anything else that happens. And in particular, that then forces the 9, which forces the 3, which forces other things, which forces the 5. So we get our 9 and our 3 and our 5, and now this has become a good old-fashioned shame omino. And so now, oh, sorry, it can't, but shame ominos in this puzzle can't be black, because shame ominos would look like they were something else. So we'll just make it brown to stick with the theme that it's still shameful, but that it is at least a Meidjuluk. So now that is gray. Happy Thanksgiving, Tirganis. Great to have you. Let me draw in all of these things that are now completed. Oh, the 8's now closed off by the 5, so now the 8 is forced. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we get all of that. Oops, all of that. Oh, and I need to border these. Oh, there's a 9-5 border missing. Thank you, Ambrose, saving me. There's another thing the Ambrose button should do. The permaculture certainly has to... Permaculture Meidjuluk has to expand out that side. Hey, MicroStudy. Happy Thanksgiving. This can only be the Fillomino 2 now, because otherwise we've got problems. And now this can only be a Fillomino 9, because otherwise we've got problems. Okay. So we've got all of that. Yeah, the 5 ended up not green. That is terrible. So people are saying the 9 region needs to take this cell, because if it doesn't, the 9 region is capped at a size of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is not 9. So this is definitely part of the 9 region, is, I believe, what is being claimed. It's definitely not part of the 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yet still actually needs to take that even, Jay Dyer points out, which is great news, because it forces the 6 Fillomino up here. Great counting, everyone. Top-notch counting. Also, I suppose I should put a circle around that, because it is a thing. There's still the annoying possibility that these are the same and that they connect around through the 9 in some fashion, I think. Oh, no, that doesn't work. That would disconnect these. Oh, but that's already connected. It doesn't need to connect. It's already connected. So I could still have these be the same, and then run the 9 up here or something. So yeah, these are sort of like this is either part of a 2 or part of a 6. I don't have my Meidjuluk 7 yet. My Meidjuluk 7 has to go somewhere. It's either part of a size 2 Meidjuluk or size 6 Meidjuluk. Those are the only options. And so the question is this 6 actually joining that 6 in a Fillomino, or is this 6 joining one of these two 2s in a Meidjuluk? And I don't know yet. Yeah, these are different. One of these ones is Meidjuluk, and it's a different Meidjuluk from this one. But this one could be in a Meidjuluk of size 1, annoyingly. Oh, that's key. Okay, this 6 can't connect to that without breaking the 2. So maybe it could connect to that. And then have a 9 run up here and grab that 2. That still seems feasible, annoyingly. So yeah, I agree. If this is if this is Meidjuluk, it can't connect up there. It has to connect here. Let's see. There are 55 Fillomino cells, and we know all of them, at least in terms of what shape they are, or what size they are, I should say. I'm trying to decide. If the 6 doesn't take this cell, it's forced to take these cells. I'm trying to decide if that's immediately a problem. Annoyingly, I don't think it's immediately a problem. Let's see. So this is either part of the 1 or part of the 9. I mean, I feel like almost certainly the 6 has to take this 6, but I don't see why. but it's just too perfect for it not to be forced to do that, because it would force exactly what the 9 looks like as well, and would et cetera, et cetera. Oh, these are both Meidjuluk. You're right, Garion. Pink meant these are not both Fillomino, but in fact, actually, if you look at the 1, we only have 1 in our accounting. And the 1 we have in our accounting is that one. So yeah, so Garion is right. Okay, yeah, I just dropped the ball in remembering what I was supposed to remember. These are both Meidjuluks. Correct. Now, what does that do exactly? Who on earth knows? There's no way this is Fillomino, right? If this was Fillomino, it would have to connect. We do have 5, Jaleb. We're only missing 1 and 7 and 2 and 6. And we know the 2 and 6 roughly go to these 2 places, but we don't know where. So I think this cell has to be Meidjuluk, because otherwise, if it was Fillomino, it would escape out here, and then no matter how it connects, it's breaking connectivity, because it will either connect there or connect there. So I think this has to be Meidjuluk. And I think the same is true of this, whether it is... if it were Fillomino, it would have to connect over there or connect over there, because those are my sort of 2 means of connection. Oh, no, sorry, that's not true. It would just be connected. It would itself be connected. But it would have to... Sorry. It would have to connect to those not because of connectivity. It would have to connect to them because we don't have any Fillominos left. So the logic was right almost. Okay. So how many? We have 4 1s left that we can place in 1 each in the 4 remaining Meidjuluk regions, because there are 5 Meidjuluk regions that we've completed. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, sorry, we've only completed 4 Meidjuluk regions. Never mind. So all but 1 of the remaining Meidjuluk regions needs a 1. Somewhat annoyingly. But whichever of these is the 2 doesn't have a 1. So the 2 size Meidjuluk is the one that doesn't have a 1. That's the point. And so everything else needs a 1. So in particular, this 9 needs a 1. And it's already minimum size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the question is, could it possibly take another 1? Something like 6, 7, 8, 9. And the funny thing is, this doesn't work because it creates 2 1-size Meidjuluk regions. And so that means that the 9 definitely does actually take that 1. And so now, just by our accounting of 1s, we've got that. Now the 6-size Meidjuluk, what do you mean by could go right, Ambrose? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it could do that exactly. Oh, got it. Okay. Except that breaks the 6 Fillomino. So that also breaks, but for a different reason. In fact, any version of the 9 taking the 1 definitely breaks the 6 Fillomino. So yeah, so I contend we've now actually proven this, although I agree I missed a case before. But in particular, the point is, this 6, if it were a Meidjuluk, it would need a 1. The 1 needs a 1. Yes, the 1 needs a 1. Oh, right. The 1 needs a 1. And so now, in particular, Selena's point is that happens. And this 6 now has to do that because the 6 can't get a 1 and it would need a 1 because it's the 2 that doesn't have a 1. So weird grammatical sentence, but we'll go with it. So we have proven the only thing that could possibly ever have happened happens. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is the 9 Meidjuluk. We can crop all of that in. So these two are part of the same thing, regardless of what that thing is. And these two are part of the same thing, no matter what that is. So we have that, at least. This Meidjuluk now has to go through here, because now the Meidjuluk has to make it through this passage. It's one of those weird things that happens in pencil puzzles where, like, there's no way the solution was ever going to be anywhere near unique if this wasn't a Fillomino, just because the Meidjuluk has no geometric restrictions at all. And so you sort of knew it had to do that. But anyway, that now forces the 9 up at least to here, because the 9 could go 2 cells this way without breaking connectivity, but it's still got quite a ways to go. So all of these are part of the 9, which then forces the Meidjuluk up here. Now, the 9 could still go 2 cells this way, but it will still need to take 2 cells over here anyway. And so now, in fact, the 9 still needs 2 more cells. It certainly can't take a 2, so the 9, in fact, does take these 2 more cells, validating J40's point that the 9 is almost forced. Okay, I feel like this is connected either way now, but I'm sure I'm missing something. And so... oh, no, if this was the Fillomino, it disconnects it. Right, okay, if this is the Fillomino, it disconnects the Meidjuluk. So this is the Fillomino, is the point. So this is the Meidjuluk. Okay, this is the Meidjuluk of size 2. Because it can't have size 6, it won't connect to a 1. This one now needs to be of size 6, so it needs to go through at least those cells. We know there's one of size 7 that has to squeeze its way in here somehow. So one of size 7... Right. Everything has a 1 now. So in particular, this can't end until it's a 1. So that's what forces it to do that. I also know that this is Meidjuluk just by whichever sort of math you would like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that needs to be my 7th cell of the 7. So there we go. And so I will put a 7 wherever it looks most aesthetic, which is there. We will all agree, I'm sure. So we've got that. So now this 2 needs to be part of something, and these 2 need to be part of something. And now that has forced, because these 2 can't be of size 2, it's got to be bigger. That's forced these 2 to join and have size 6, which is force this, which then forces us to put a 6 there. And make our own little 6 region. And there we go. That was a lovely puzzle. I liked that quite a bit. It took my brain a bit to sort of fully engage. We need to re-gray. Right. Sorry, you're completely right. We should color in our 2 shades of gray, which is not quite as kinky. 48 shades less kinky. There we go. So there we go. JLib really wants us to trigger solution check by deleting these. Oops. By deleting these. Seemingly the answer is no. I might have circled something else somewhere, or I might have added some other digit or something. Oh, it's because row 2, column 1 is supposed to be a 2, because I didn't fill in that Fillomino. Oh, and I should also circle the 1. That's a good point. So yeah, so maybe now solution check will proc if I do that. But it did not. I can also... oh, no, I should not circle a 9. Click on the tick. Puzzle does not include solution. Did someone say Simon did this puzzle? What is this? Yes, I think... I admit I never really care about solution check. I try and... yeah, that's what I thought. I thought someone said Simon solved this, but then 136 solves didn't sound like it was solved by Simon. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, before I go on break, I should announce a couple things. One of which, not whatever that is, one of which is that I have a new puzzle out. So here is the new puzzle. I guess I should just pull it up on SudokuPad and then it will look right. Although don't look at my filled in digits. That was just my example. If you are so inclined, this is one of my, this is a 3-star puzzle. So this is a little friendlier than some of my recent 4-star things, especially Alarm, which is, I think, probably my least friendly. Yeah, Tristan is definitely planning to do this one on Tuesday. But anyway, I recommend this one to you. And I know a lot of people sort of only want to do the easier Zeta puzzles. I think this falls in that category. I think this is a lower end 3, although the rules will require reading and rereading a couple times before you sort of fully comprehend exactly what is happening. I called it 9 rooms because all of the clues only involve what's happening in each 3x3 box completely independently. And I was trying to decide how close I could get to calling the puzzle something about room numbers without sounding like it was a numbered rooms puzzle, which is how I settled on 9 rooms, because I thought that sort of got across the point without sounding like I was advertising a numbered rooms puzzle. I did consider something like room numbers. Yeah, this is like exactly like 9 mini puzzles sort of puzzle. I was really happy with how pretty the grid ended up being, because I did not, in this instance, put even a single lick of effort into making the grid come out pretty. It just happened that way, at least for my personal taste, so I was happy with it. Anyway, I recommend this to you, and I also will note that we have our setting competition. So if you are interested in submitting something for the Sortadoku setting challenge, all the information about that is on the Discord. And the submission deadline for that is December 8th. So you've still got a good chunk of time if you want to set something for it. There's a submission page for once you've got your puzzle tested over on the Discord as well. And if you... words. And if you want someone to test your puzzle, you can, of course, use the CTC testing Discord if you want. But if you just ping the Discord and ask, probably some kind soul that may or may not be a soldier will probably test your puzzle for you. So anyway, we ask that you do, of course, get your puzzles all tested a couple of times before you submit them for the stream. Oh, that's right. I have another announcement, don't I? I have a third announcement, which is that we are reversing the way that we do setter permissions for streaming. So we've always done setter permission for streaming as you can give us permission and then we'll do your puzzles when we want to. However, there's a couple problems with this. One is that no one else does it this way. And the second is that now the list of people whose permissions we have is so long that I don't remember who's on it and who's not. And so it has become incredibly complicated. And so we're going to do the opposite, which is that if you want me not to do your puzzles on stream, you can tell me. And we will maintain a shorter, presumably, list of people who don't want me to do their puzzles on stream rather than the other way around, which will let me do more puzzles and more people's puzzles. Because there's a lot of people whose names are on the list, but I don't remember they're on the list because the list is so many pages long that I then just don't do their puzzles anyway, and that's not really fair to them. So this is sort of an easier way to manage everything. So we'll post an official announcement of that on the Discord. But basically, now we're going to do opt-out instead of opt-in, which is, I gather, closer to what most people who do this do. Alrighty. I am going to take a quick break, and I'll be back shortly with more puzzles. So see. welcome back, everyone. Apologies for the longer than average break. While I was streaming, our whole living room got reorganized, and my feedback was being solicited. My feedback was that it was great, and now I have a much better seat in the living room than I did before. So I am quite excited by that. Alrighty, and I thought it would be fun to continue my tradition of doing one of my puzzles each stream or every other stream or so, give or take. So the next one in line is Potpourri. This is part of a admittedly short series of puzzles where I tried to sort of exemplify classic Sudoku techniques, which I would say really includes this puzzle, the puzzle Cacophony, and the puzzle Pastiche, are really sort of the three puzzles in this series, if you will, which sort of have some sort of Sudoku technique hidden to them. If I understood more Sudoku techniques, more classic Sudoku techniques, I would make another one. But we have sort of hit the end of the list of classic Sudoku techniques I understand. So this puzzle, this puzzle, as Jaleb says, has something to do with fives. This is super symmetric, which I'm happy with. And so what is it that it has to do with fives? The point is that I've chosen here lots of places or lots of clues that can't have fives on them, in column 1, column 5, and column 9. And so I'm just going to highlight each place in column 1 that 5 can go, each place in column 5 that 5 can go. Although if you think about it for a lot, you'll realize, if you think about it even for not too long, you'll realize that can't actually be 5. And that for a 5. I only really highlighted this not because you can't argue that this can't be 5, but because it makes more clear that this is what's called a swordfish. And so what is a swordfish? It's a version of what, if you've heard of an X-wing, it's called that. Or it is a sort of fancier version of that, or a 50% bigger version of that. The point is that every row and column gets 1 5. And so in row 1, row 5, in column 1, column 5, and column 9, they each get 1 5. And those 5s each land in row 3, row 5, and row 9. And so that means that the row 3, row 5, and row 9 5s all are also in yellow. And so X-Wings and Swordfish always have this vertical implies horizontal or horizontal implies vertical structure. And so in this case, what happened is that I have this vertical restriction on 5s that implies a horizontal restriction on 5s. And so, I'm being encouraged to put down a bet tree. I didn't know we did that anymore. And so in particular, there are no 5s in these cells, these cells, or these cells. I guess we couldn't really do a bet tree on the Meidjuluk one since there were cells that didn't have digits. But in particular, the thing I see here that is very nice is now this whole Renban doesn't have a 5 on it because this is on a V, and the V digits are always 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, Chef of Death, happy Thanksgiving. I think one of my very first streams was on Thanksgiving, so I sort of like doing Thanksgiving streams. And so because there's no 5 on here, that makes this, in fact, an actual honest 1, 2, 3, 4 puzzle. Or, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 Renban. I'm going to low-high color this. I don't know why I didn't make these green. Probably because of the Renban. Probably because of the German Whispers. And now I'm going to note this circle, of course, cannot be 5 because these digits are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These can't be 5 because of the swordfish. This can't be 5 because it's bigger than both of these digits. And so this can't be 6 either because it's bigger than both of those digits. These two cells now can be at most 4. There we go. And so that's because this digit arrow can add up to its most 9. But the reason why that is helpful is because if I look at this row now, that's all of my lows. And so this cell is high. And so now, by my usual sort of German whisper trick that I need to alternate low and high in order to keep at least 5 apart, I get all of those. And now I can do a few more sort of for my next trick sorts of things. Like this is definitely orange because I have all the blues and I have the 5 in the row already. And so we can do the whole last lows are on X's trick in a couple places. So there's already 3 low digits here. So there's one more low digit that has to be on this X. And so these cells are all 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the same thing happens in this column. There's a low on each of these X's. That's 4 total lows. So these are all from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like that. Let's see. If this was a 5, it would rule 5 off of this Renbon and force this Renbon to be all high. But I don't know about that. I do know that 8 is high. I suppose that's a thing that I know in my life. I also know about ketchup because this digit doesn't repeat on the Renbon. So this digit and this digit and this digit are the same. This is also 5, 6, 7, 9 because of just all the rows. Even though I don't know if it's a 5 yet. These are both honest orange cells. And this is an honest orange cell too. That is a good point from Jaleb. So that's all the orange cells for this row. So these are blue. And so once that's blue, that gets me these. And now in this column, I have now sort of the opposite. This X needs a high digit on it. And that's 3 high digits. And so that therefore forces this to be a 5. And we get to do our 5 dance and turn it green. Let me bring out Zach for the 5 dance. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Ooh. Ba-doop, ba-doop. Wah. Ba-doop, ba-doop. Wah. Ba-doop, 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 wah. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. And so we can turn this cell its true color. And so we can de-yellowify those. These are now just orange. Yeah, Zach has had to improv a 0 dance a couple times, but I think he's done it a little differently each time. That's all the oranges for this column, so that makes all of these blue. Da-dee-dee-da-dee-da. And so now just the 5 in this row is just placed, which is going to place the 5 in that row, making these true green, and making this no longer yellow, but orange. Okay, so we've got all of that. This circle definitely goes on an X up here for whatever that is worth. Probably not a whole lot. Yep. So now this 5 does actually tell me. So as I said before, this Renbon is either all, if this Renbon, or if that's a 5, this Renbon's all orange. It now is all orange. Because this 5 sees the whole thing, so it's all orange or all blue, but that blue digit is not on it. And so we get, again, a little bit of ketchuping. Those two are the same. That's now blau. So we get all of that. Okay. What shall we now? One of those is a circle. Garion is claiming this can't be 4, or sorry, not Garion. Carl is claiming this can't be 4, but I'm not quite sure I see why yet. It's because these aren't 9. There we go. Those aren't 9. So the 9 in this box is definitely in this row, which looks at this cell and says this isn't 9. So now that can't be 4 because the only thing that goes with 4 on a German whisper is a 9. And so the monogamous 4 has no choice but to join its friend, the 6, up here, which now tells me where does the 6 go on this? And the answer is the 6 goes there because it has nowhere else it can go. So no 6s there. That being because I knew this wasn't a 6 because they were the same digit. So that is, in fact, the 6. This isn't a 6, by the way. That's certainly not a 6 either. So one of these two is 6. That's a good spot. So Jaleb pointing out this is a 7, 8, or a 9, and so that gives me a 7, 8, 9 triple looking at a 6 over there. In fact, this isn't a 9 either. It's only a 7 or an 8. And so that also means that these are 1, 2, or 3 only, which I guess I already knew from the column. This is also 1, 2, 3. No 6 over here. So we've got that. Let's see. 8 is in this column somewhere. This is certainly 7, 8, 9 as well, for whatever it is worth. Oh, this digit is circle. This digit is red circle. Because it's the only place that red circle can go in column 1. So for whatever it's worth, this is red circle. The orange red circle, to be clear. Let's see. Okay, so several people are telling me that 6 is placed. I'm not seeing yet why this can't be a 6. 6, 1, 8, 2, 3 with a... Oh, is the point 7? One of these two has to be 7? Is it something like that? Oh, this can't be a 6 because of... Yes, okay, this can't be a 6 because there's a 4, 6 pair looking at it. So this just is a 7, 8, 9, and this is a 6. Okay, it was nothing nearly as sophisticated as what I was trying to make it. Okay, so now one of these two is a 4, 6 pair, and by uniqueness, it's that one. Actually, one of these is a 4, 6 pair, and by the fact that that's a 6, it's not that one. So this is a 4, 6 pair. Meaning that neither of these is 4, so neither of these is 1. And so that's not 1, which means that's not 8. I'm just sort of following through my my consequences of that. One of these two is a 4 for sure. For whatever it is worth. This box has a 4, 6 pair. I don't know why 4, 6 pairs are invisible to me today, but they are. So because this is a 4, 6 pair, that's not a 4. So these are certainly from 2, 3, 7, 8. I'm not sure which just yet. This digit is that digit for whatever that is worth. Oh, 4 is now placed in box 5. Hey, how about that? So now that's a 4 and that's a 1. These are a 2-3 pair. So we've got that now. I thought that would do more. That's not a 1, or whatever it is worth. That 2-3 pair does indeed look at that cell. So no 1 down there. So now one of these two isn't 7, for sure. Let's see. Because of this 6 now, this can't sum to 7. Because if these both summed to 7, the only way they sum to 7 is both being 5-2, but they're certainly not both 5-2 for lots of reasons. So this can't be 7. Is there a similar argument that they're not both 9? Maybe not. But hey, it's something. I know that this is a 7, 8, 9. 6 is orange. 6 would go there, Gary, and not on the X. If 6 were here, 6 would put a 1 there. Is that... Although I will say this is the puzzle that started Simon's trend of miscoloring blue and orange when doing puzzles. And so when Simon solved this, Simon used orange for low and blue for high. So that can't be 4-6 because it would place a 4 over here. Is that the argument for why this can't be 4-6? Because I would get a Zackwing on 4s and 6s that would place the 4 over here. Oh, here's an easier way to do it. That 4-6 pair sees that cell. So one of these is a 4. So therefore, this is not a 4-6. And therefore, 6 in this column has to go there. Okay, there we go. Okay, I have understood Garion's point. So that is not a 1. For whatever that is worth. So this can only be 2 or 3, just for the record. Let's see. Oh, 4 in this column I should also ask about at the same time, because 4 can't go on the X either. And so 4... Oh, 4 actually, sorry. 4 has a couple places to go in the column. Never mind. I think 4 could go in literally any of these. Never mind. There is a 6 exactly here by Sudoku, because those two 6s place this 6 over here. So certainly the circle 2-3 is up here for whatever that is worth. And these are certainly from 7, 8, 9. Oh, this column has all of its highs for what it's worth. So that cell is low. That was a thing I missed that has been available for a long time. And so that's all the lows and the 5. So these are both high. And so that's all the highs in this column. For for what it is worth. This is a 4, just it's a naked 4. This is a 2, 3. So these are 2, 3, 4, and one of them is a 4. For sure. This column, I know that these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I know that these are 1, 2, 3, 5, for whatever that is worth. Oh, this digit needs to go on this renbon. So this digit, where does it go on the renbon? It goes there. Because it's definitely not ketchup circle. And so this digit's not a 9, for what it's worth. So one of these two is the 9, for what it's worth again. Let's see. Oh, there's no 4 in here, Nikolai points out, because there's a 4-6 pair. I will never in my life see a 4-6 pair in this puzzle for some reason. This is just not possible. One of these is therefore a 4 for the column. Let's see. Trying to understand Ambrose's point that this isn't an 8 because 9 in the circle goes with 4, 5. Oh, right. If this was an 8, the circle would be 9, and there'd be no way to... no, this would be 7, 2, then. So this is 9, 8, 1. This would be 7, 2. Still sounds okay to me. I believe. Okay, right. One of these is a 5. And so if this was an 8, then the 5 would go with a 4, is Ambrose's point. I see. So if this is an 8, the point is it places a 5 here. That doesn't work. So in fact, these are a 5-7 pair, meaning that's not a 7, and that is good spotting. And so that's a 2 and a 3 because of how whispers work. So those are an 8-9 pair, so that's the 7 for the column. So we get all of those. It does restrict what this can be somewhat. I think, if I think about it carefully. This is an 8 or a 9. Oh, right. This is no longer that. That's the circly 8, 9. This is the other 8, 9. Garion with a slick way of phrasing this, which is that these two cells differ by 2, because these two differ by 2. So if these two differ by 2, well, something that differs by 2 from a 2 or 3 is not a 2 or 3. It is a 1 or 4. That is a good way to express that. So we have the 2 or 3 down here and the 1 or 4 up here. 4, 5, or 1, 7, I suppose. Two, 5, 7, 1. Ah, right. Okay, so Nikolai pointing out that the orange-red circle... Sorry, Liz pointing out that the orange-red circle in column 5 is the arrow circle. For sure. Because this happens to look over at that cell. Oh, 3 doesn't go next to 7 on a whisper, so I should not put a 7 there, and so therefore I should put a 7 there. That's probably a much easier point. And so there's an 8-9 pair here that makes these a 3-7 pair up here, which makes that a 2 and that a 3, which makes that a 3. And 3 doesn't go with 7. 3 goes with 5. So we get our green digit, our orange digit, and so that's a 1. It is a 9. That's an 8. That's an 8. That's an 8. That is a 9. Okay, and and that is a 1. I didn't fill in the 1 up there. Okay, and now I think I can get rid of my ketchuping. So this is a 2 and a 4 and a 1 and a 9. Okay, so we've got some progress now going on. So this is the last 8 or 9 for the row. Let's see. There's an 8 placed here by Sudoku. We have used a given. So therefore that is an 8 by Sudoku, which means that's a 9 and that's an 8. Let's see. We've got a 3 over here and a 5. Oh, these are both orange and are a 7-9 pair. This is a 7 or a 9 as well. But where is 9 in this column is the way to put it, because 9 in this column can't possibly go on the X, because it would need a 1, and the 1 in the column's already up there. So that's the 9 in the column. Which now... and this can't be 2-8, so this can only be 3-7, actually, if you look at just what options are available for this X. So that is a 7 and a 3. 2-4 goes up there. It's a 2, a 3, or a 4, I suppose. What is left in this box? These seem to... Oh, right. This has to be the 9 just by Sudoku. Making that the 7 and the 9. These are a 2-6 pair, making that the 4 and the 6. Making that the 4. This now sees every high and 5, so it's low. And can only be a 1 or a 2. And seems not to be able to be a 2, actually. I think this is a naked 1. Because it sees every high, it sees 5, and then it sees 2, 3, and 4. So yes, this is a naked 1. And so now that's a naked high because of that. So that is a 7 or an 8, and it's not an 8, so it is therefore a 7, which has made this the last low of a 2. Okay, which is going to, I think, start unraveling things a little bit. Making that a 5 and a 3. Making these both low. That high and that low. If I fill that in like that. No 5, no 3. That 2-6 pair, Carl points out, forces this to be a 2 by Sudoku. I agree with that assessment. So that is a 5 by Sudoku as well. That has become a 1 and a 2. we can mark up some stuff, I think, without too much concern. Excuse me. So that is low. That's low. That's high. That's high. That is also high by our maths here. So this sees every high, so it's green. This is therefore high. Let's fill those in. Oops. 6, 4, 9, 6, 5, 4, 7. So now we've got our low and our green, and our low and our high and our high. And so let's fill those in. So that's now 3 and 2 and 4 and 5 and 2 and 4, 6 and 2 and 8. Let's see. This is not green, so it is blue, and that means our bet tree is a green tree of 5. Oh, crap. Sorry. Bet tree is a green tree of 5. You didn't see anything. I didn't miss anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Excellent. And yeah, I suppose, given that it is Thanksgiving, it probably is time to switch over and start using ye old Christmas tree bet tree for a bit for the upcoming holidays. Alrighty. I am going to take a quick break and come back with yet another puzzle. So see you all in just a moment. Hello, everyone. Oh, just in time for Danita to head out. Well, have a good day. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. I hope your tummy is okay this time. Alrighty, so we have a Wushel puzzle up next. So this is a region sum arrow puzzle, which should be interesting. I'll throw down a bet tree. This looks like a reasonable sell for a bet tree. We'll see if it is a disaster or not. So I think we have all normal rules here. So if you've not seen them before, the region sum lines have some sum that's the same if you add up the digits in each box. So what that is saying is the sum of the blue digits, the sum of the orange digits, the sum of the green digits, and the sum of the purple digits is the same. And then it works the same for each other line, but the lines might have different sums as each other. And then, funnily enough, as Jay Dyer points out, this could have just been a region sum line because this is also crossing a box like this, and same with this. Okay, so so that is our rule set. We have a bunch of generous length 3 arrows. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9 here. Yes, I was. Karen, I do intend to have a holiday ham Thanksgiving dinner later. I am actually streaming while Tristan and the others are cooking, I believe, although they are currently moving furniture, which is also appreciated. But yes, there are plans. All right. So something to be said about the sum of all of these, I suppose, but I don't quite know yet what it is. So the sum of the line... So I guess we should do some math. What is the maximum the sum of the line can be? The maximum the sum of the line can be is 985. So 985 is the maximum the sum can be, so that would be 22. What's the minimum sum that all of these can have? The minimum sum that all of these can have is that's 7 cells is 28. Minus 9 would be 21. But that can't be minus 9 actually. Because, okay, here's the actual smart way to do this. I'm doing this a dumb way. The sum of these 4 has to equal the sum of these 7. 7 cells is at least 28. That means these 4 cells need to sum to at least 28. And at maximum, what would they be? They would be 9865. And 9865 is what? That is 28, right? So, in fact, that's exactly what happens. And the sum is 28 in order to make that work. And so because of that I was separating these rather than combining them, which was making life way worse. So, in fact, we get exactly that, which means that these are, in fact, an 8-9 pair. Over there, in order to make it so that the sum actually works. And yeah, we know we've got that. And so that's also, by the same logic, going to give us an 8-9 pair here. Because of the fact that the digits off the arrow plus this. Oh wait, no, sorry, that was wrong. That's wrong. Sorry, I did not do that right. Sorry. No, not quite. Right. That's assuming that would work if these 2 circles were the same. Which does tell me those 2 circles aren't the same, because it says if they were the same, they would be different. Which I think means this has to be I don't know. We'll think about it later. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4. for sure. Okay. I'm trying to find the honest way to find this rather than the dishonest way to find this. Uh, uh, So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the articulate way to say this is. Yeah, there's an 8-9 in row 3 is one way to say it. So if this is 8 or 9, it's equal to this digit, which then puts that digit down there, which is a problem. We have not yet found the right way to say this, though, I don't think. Let's see. Selena says row 2, column 3 plus row 2, column 4 equals row 2, column 8 plus row 1, column 9. I was trying to think about this number going down here in row 3, Isaiah, but I didn't see how it got me anywhere. But that's how I was thinking about it, was that this digit definitely goes down here. But I don't know what to do with it. I mean, I know this is a 6, but none of the ways of saying that this is a 6 so far have quite worked. And row 4, column 6. Okay, so Garion is now looking at how it combines in this box. So I think the way I like best of these, I still think it's probably simpler than this, is that if these two digits are equal, then these two are an 8-9 pair. I think that's pretty clear. If this is that, then these two are an 8-9 pair by exactly the same argument. But if those are an 8-9 pair and these are an 8-9 pair, that breaks in a bajillion ways, not least of which is that I have an 8-9 pair looking at something that I've decided is an 8-9. So this digit can't be that digit, and it's not that 8-9 either. So this is a 6. I think I'm making it one step more complicated than it needs to be, but that was the first way I saw it, and it's the best for my brain of the ways we've seen so far. So I'm going to take it and expect that I did something more complicated than it needed to be. But we get a 6 dance. Ba-boop-ba-doop. Whoop-whoop-whoop-whoop. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Whoop-whoop-whoop-whoop. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Whoop-whoop-whoop-whoop. Woohoo! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that will give us a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. So we have that all sort of filled out. So now what are we going to do? And these are from 5, 6, 8, 9. I do know there's a 6 in them for sure. Oh, I know the sum of the line now. That's the point. I know the sum of the line now. So the sum of the line is 5 plus 8 plus 9, which is 22. And so these definitely can't be 6, 8, 9. If these were 6, 8, 9, that would be a big problem because that's already too much. So there's a 5 over here. So there's no 5 there. And even 5, 6, 8 is 19. That says this has to be a 1, 2, or 3. And so, and I guess I can think about the outies too as a useful way of doing this. So these are 22 plus 8 would be 30. So these sum to at least 30. But they sum to 30 or 31. I guess that's not actually very helpful. So we've got that. Oh, I see. Okay, so 31 is not possible for a very cute reason that Carl has spotted, which is that if I made these sum to 31, I would need to make these two cells sum to 14, but I have just shown you by corner marking a 5 and a 6 on this line that the sum of these two can't be 14 because the only ways to do that are 5, 9, and 6, 8. Love that. So therefore, the outies don't sum to 14. They must sum to 15, which makes that a 9, makes that an 8. So no 9, no 8 over there. And so now these do sum to 15 without being 6, 9. So they have to be 7, 8. And we know the order that they are. Oh, right. Sorry. Completely correct. Yeah, this is an 8. Sorry, I did the math. I did the math correctly and then filled in the wrong digit. So it's still true, though, that these need to sum to 15 and they can't be 6, 9. So they're 7, 8, which means that it's 7 and 8 in that direction, which means that is 5 and 9 and 8 like that. No 8 over there. And so now I can do math to figure out 5 plus 6 plus 9 is 20. And the sum is 22, so that's a 2. If I recall correctly that the sum is 22. So no 8 there. Okay, that was all well and good. So these are 1, 3, 4 for lots of reasons. Let's see. These are something, something, and something. I know there's a 7 down here, I guess. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these aren't 5, 6. So in fact, these are a 4, 7 pair. So these are a 5, 6 pair up here. Yep. As Ambrose says, quad in row 1 was another way to see that that was probably simpler. The 4 in the quad's definitely over here, so that's never a 4 for whatever it is worth. Now the maximum total of this line is pretty small. I mean, relative to what it could have been before. The maximum is 13, which is not the most ridiculously small total I've ever heard in my life, but it's not terrible. These outies sum to either 17 or 16 or 14, if I did my math right, for what it's worth. If this was a 6 or a 7, that would have to be a 2. But I don't quite see the restriction. Oh. That's beautiful. Okay, so microstudies' point is if these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, That's a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in the column. These would be a minimum of 11. That's gorgeous. So these aren't from 1, 2, 3, 4, which means that's a 9. Because if it were 6 or 7, these would need to be either 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4, and either way breaks. So this is certainly from 1, 2, 3. That was great. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, Franco. Because one of these is a 5 or a 6. And so now the outies, as Jay Dyer says, thankfully doing the math for me, sum to 14. And so they're either 7, 7 or 6, 8 or 5, 9. One of those. They're probably not 7, 7. Certainly I need a low digit here and a low digit here. So these digits are all certainly from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's not a 9. Because of the 14 thing, that one can't be 7. So this is 5, 6, or 8, which means this is 6, 8, or 9, per the fact that these two need to sum to 14. I don't know anything interesting about the 9 over here, do I? I don't think so. Do I know the 9 in column 7 doesn't go there, annoyingly? I don't think so. Okay, if this is not a... Oh! This arrow now has a 1, 2, 3 on it because it's not 9, is Jay Dyer's point, which I missed. So this has a 1, 2, or 3 on it. So there's a 1, 2, 3 here, a 1, 2, 3 here, and a 1, 2, 3 here. That's 3 1, 2, 3s in the column. So that's a virtual 1, 2, 3 triple, making that a 4. And so, yeah, so we've got a 1 or a 3 here and a 1 or a 3 here. And the minimum sum of this arrow now is 6. So this can only be 6 or 7. And it's definitely got... So weirdly, there's a 5, 6 pair in these two cells, or a virtual 5, 6 pair across these. Because... Yes, Carl, that would be the much smarter way for me to do it. But I'm already dead set on doing it this way, where I notice that I have a virtual 5, 6 pair, making that an 8. And that a 6. There we go. So, as Carl says, the thing I should have seen is that just the 3 out of the 1, 3 virtual pair we found could not go here because 3 plus 5 was 8, which ruined this. So there had to be a 1 here, which meant there had to be a 3 here. And the 3 can't go with a 6. Because then this would need to be a 0. So the 3 can only actually go with the 5. So let me fill in a 2 and a 6, just to keep you on your toes. So that's a 3, 5, and I need to add to 9, so that's a 1, which gives me the 3 and the 1. The 3, 5, look down and tell me that's not a 5. So my 1 now can't go with a 5, so my 1, in fact, goes with a 6, making these a 1, 6. Which has made that a 7. That has become a 4 and a 7. That has become a 3. This is quite lovely. Sven still can't notice that there's 3 and 5 in the box already. Yeah, what was the difficulty listed at on this? I did not actually notice the difficulty listing. This is listed as 3 stars. Oh, nice. Awesome. All right. So I think we're close enough to finishing this puzzle that I should finish this puzzle and then we should go watch Simon do 9 rooms.
I'm going to set up a new stream for it.
Okay. But I think, fingers crossed, that we've got enough, and then we can go watch this. So Simon did my most recent puzzle, which I am excited by. So we'll get to do that and watch that together. Okay. These are at least big, but how big? Max was 13 for the... Oh, Max was 13 for this line. Right, okay. So J40 has recalled a fact, which is that these two sum to at most 8 plus 5, which is 13. So now these three cells need to sum to at most 13, which means these two need to sum to at most 6, which means there's definitely a 2 on here. And I can't even use a 3, so actually these are just forced to be 2, 4. It's not even a choice. So therefore that's a 7. So we've got that. And so the sum is 13. So these are 5, 8, I should fill in. So these are the other ones that aren't 5 or 8. So this can only be 2, 3, or 4. I'm going to fill in. That was the whole reason I was doing that, was just to see if that was something exciting. That 2, 4 pair looks up. Thank you. Thank you, ELSF. Sudokuing intensifies. So there's a 9 over here on this line somewhere. Let's see. This digit is probably now known if I think about it carefully. What do you think, Mark? Mark thinks it's a 5. I will choose to believe Mark. 8 and 5 go in, so there's a 5 over here. Is there some reason this can't be a 5? If this was a 5, I would need these two to add to 8 without being 3, 5, or 1, 7, but they could annoyingly be 2, 6, I think. 8 is also on that line in box 4. Is 8 on this line too much? For some reason that I'm missing? Or am I missing a Sudoku thing? I think I must be missing a Sudoku thing and not a sum thing? Oh, no, I'm missing... No, it was absolutely a Sudoku thing. Because the 8 isn't one of those. Sorry, I was convinced that Garion was telling me that one of these two was 8, but in fact what Garion was telling me was that these two cells, one of them was 8, and both of those cells by coincidence also on this line. So now the minimum sum here is 22 for this line, which is going to be very interesting because now I need these to sum to at least 22 without an 8, and 9 plus 7 plus 6 is that, and I can't use the 8, so I need to use the 7. So these are a 9-6 pair. Someone would probably say something about nice there. These are a 2-3, and I know that these are 2, 3, 8, 9. 8 plus 9 plus 2 plus 3. Oh, why did I think there couldn't be a 1 on it? What made me think there couldn't be a 1 on it, chat? I think the answer is absolutely nothing. I just decided that I didn't feel like this... I didn't feel like a 1 belonged on this line for some reason. I'll have to confront my own biases later about 1s or something. So in fact, the minimum is 22. Sorry, no, the minimum's not 22. The minimum is 20. Can I get to 20 without a 7? 9, 6, 5. I cannot. I still can't get to 20 without a 7, because the maximum I could do would be 9, 6, 4, which is only 19. So this is still a 7, regardless. So I will delete the 7 from it. And so Garion also points out, I definitely am not putting a 7 on this line. That would be way too many. Also, placing this 7 places that 7. So I could have placed Garion 7 first and then gotten my 7. It would have worked out probably roughly similarly. What's the maximum of these? 8, 7, 6, 5. Does anyone know what those add to? 26? That doesn't sound right. Oh, this 7 is just placed here. it is 26. Apparently it is 26. So, but I certainly can't make the sum 26. Can I even possibly put this 8 here? Given that this 8 here would make these two sum to 15 already. I might just be able to. Yeah, the maximum sum is 22. So unfortunately, 22 and 26 are different numbers, so that doesn't immediately help. Could I possibly put a 9 here? Annoyingly, I think I could, because I could just swamp it with a 1, 3. But yeah, it's the sum is 20, 21, or 22. Is what I think I know. Let's see. Okay, so if the max is 22, and I have an 8 and a 9 and a 1, that would be 18. So if I use a 5 or a 6, it's too much. And so Garion is pointing out I have a virtual 5-6 pair here. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, so the math there is quite impressive that works out that way. So those are a 5-6 pair regardless, which now means that yeah, not even virtual. It's a hidden 5-6 pair. Apologies if I said virtual just because I love virtual pairs too much. Let's see. So these numbers are small. They're from 1, 2, 3, 4. No help from Sudoku or Sven. So the outies here. Oh, if this is not 9, is it too small? Because if this is not 9, I can't put a 9. Oh, sorry. No, if this is not 9, then the most it could be is 3. 9 plus 7 plus 3 is 19, but the minimum sum here is 20. So, right. So this has to be a 9 just to get my sum big enough. That is incredibly impressive to Selena there. So that is now 9 as well. So good spotting. Okay, so this 2, 3, 4 now in this box goes over here, which means it's not a 3. So this is no longer able to be 3 just by Sudoku. So I guess I can just mark what these digits are or could be. Assuredly, this can't be a 1 or a 2 for the same reasons. So this is a 4 or a 6 only. Oh, and there's a 2-4 pair in the row. Carl spots, very helpful. So that 2-4 pair gives me a 6 over here. So one of these two is a 3, I suppose. So now I need the line to in fact sum to I need the line to in fact sum to 22. So I do need 2 digits that add to 5 with the 8 and the 9. So I know this is not a 2 or a 4. It's a 1 or a 3 because I need a 1, 3 and a 2, 4 in here somehow. This 2, 4 I know goes over there. Oh, right. Okay, so this 2-4 pair needs to go in this box, is what people are pointing out. So there's a hidden 2-4 pair in this box. So that's a 1 and a 2. Thank you. So now these are not 2 or 4. They are 1 and 3. Okay, so this cell is quite restricted because it's not 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 6, or 7, or 5. So this cell can only be 8 or 9 for whatever it is worth. This cell, actually, there's an 8, 9 hidden pair in this row because this cell also can't be 8 or 9 just by Sudoku. So this is 8 or 9, which has made that a 5. Now, remember the sum of this line is 13, so I need these two to add to 8. They can only do that as 2, 6 now. And so now I have my Zackwing on 2s, and since people always ask what a Zackwing is, it just means that I know that the 2s in row 8 and row 9 are down here, so the 2 in this row has to be up here. So that is a 2, and that's a 4. This is a 4 for 2 reasons, either because of that 2 or because of the 2, 6 pair. Whichever way you think is more complicated or less complicated, or whichever way you think makes me look better or worse, whichever you prefer, you can say I did it that way. So no 2 there anymore, no 4 there anymore. In fact, actually, now that's a 1, 3 pair, so now that's a 2. Someone said 1, 3 pair a long time ago, which I suspect means I was supposed to have seen that a bit ago. And so now remember, the 2 is with a digit that adds to 5 with it, so it's with a 3, so that makes that a 1. Makes that a 3 and a 1. So let us do some markitude action around here. I don't want to curse it, but I feel like we've done well with our bet trees lately, with our sort of blindly placed bet trees, with not having to fill them in until the end. 8, 4, 3, 5, 3, 8, 3, 2, 1, 8. Mark probably knows what this digit is. Mark says it's a 3, 2, 3. And our bet tree, I was going to say it's a 4, but it seems not to be. Our bet tree seems to be a 9. So congratulations to all the 9 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes come true. Oh no, Jay forgets to bet and then that's a 9. Oh no, oh no. That was a lovely puzzle, Wushel, by the way. I really, really enjoyed that. As MicroStudy says, pure region sum lines puzzle, since arrows, in this case, all the arrows are also region sum lines, although I think it probably is prettier this way. And I think it also made the deduction that we should think about these things together cooler when we were doing the box 1 into box 2 flow. Than it otherwise would have. Like if they'd all been region sum lines, I think you would have just immediately thought to do that, and then it would have worked out that way. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to hop on over to the other stream where I'm going to watch Simon solve 9 rooms. So I hope to see you all over there. I'm going to let Tristan figure out how to do that, and I'll be back shortly.